Hello, everybody. Good morning, good afternoon, whatever time you're watching this. If you happen to be logging on live, go ahead and type in hashtag live. If you're on the replay, go ahead and type in hashtag replay. So listen, y'all, let me go ahead and pull up the live just to make sure everything looks good. We have been running into some really bad weather here in New York. So there is some issues with my Wi-Fi. It was acting up yesterday. Let's see if it is good today. Hello, guys. Hi, guys. I see y'all rolling on in. Yes. All right, y'all. We actually have a really, really good conversation. For those of you who are watching live, do me a quick favor. Go ahead and type in 1 in the chat. Let me just listen to the playback real quick. Yes. All right, looks like we're good. But again, those of you who just hopped on, go ahead, give me a 1 in the chat so I know that my sound is good, the connection is good. We're not fuzzy like we were yesterday. I was like, oh my God, sometimes, the things act up. But again, we're going to still have another great conversation as promised. We're back on again today. Meiyoko going to hop on in just a second. But for those of you who are new to our show, my name is Leticia Campbell. I'm an email marketing strategist. I'm a thought leader. I have helped women all over the world secure their bag through email marketing, help them through leadership, and so many different things as it pertains to business, right? But the Your Brand, Your Breakthrough is a movement that Meiyoko and I have created last year, and we really want to focus on self-development. Right? Self-development is so important because in order for you to dominate in your business, in order for you to dominate in your personal brand, in order for you to dominate especially with your email marketing, you gotta dive into self-development. We all should do better with self-development. Some people call it self-improvement, right? Self-awareness, all those things, right? Is very much so important and prevalent in business. So I appreciate all of you for logging on and all of you who have been supporting the show up until this point. And we're going to continue to give you guys some great and amazing content, right? So we really want to talk about this word validation. Those of you who are in the who just logged on, or if you're watching the replay, go ahead and type in the word validation in the comments, right? And you may not know this, and some of you are aware of this, where you may be a heavy validation seeker. And we've really been talking a lot this week about the validation trap. We can get into that trap of wanting to seek validation in our businesses, that more often than not, a lot of people quit their businesses because they're not seeing the engagement, or they're not seeing the income, or they're not seeing the kickback and all the things. And you may have a business, y'all, right? That's a diamond in the rough. Amen. You may have a business right now that if you just stay consistent a little longer, this morning I made a post. I want to go back to that post I made this morning because we all are going through a season of trial and tribulation, all the things. If that's you, go ahead and type a 1 in the chat. This morning I did a post. I said, I just want to tell you this morning, hang on. Hey, Charlene, can somebody type the word hashtag hang on in the chat? Hey, Annette, type in hashtag hang on. My word for y'all, and I feel like somebody needs to hear this. Hang on. Hang on. And I'm telling you, if you do that in your business, you just keep hanging on. If you can just keep showing up, if you just keep being present, if you just keep being a thought leader, if you just keep promoting, talking, sharing, doing lives, posting, whatever it is that you need to do to stay relevant, keep hanging on. Keep hanging on, because I'm telling you right now, you're more closer to your breakthrough than you think that you are. Thank you, Charlene. Keep hanging on. So that I felt like somebody needed to hear that today. I needed to hear that today. I needed to hear that today, because it's very important that we know that what we do is bigger than money. What we do is bigger than ourselves, even though we're all building some dominant personal brand. This is about the people that we're going to connect with. It's about the individuals that we're going to help. It's about the people that we're going to take to the next level. And if you're the person that's always trying to seek validation in your business, right, you're going to find yourself always trying to keep up, always trying to get that outside acceptance, right? But if you wake up every morning, you say, you know what? I'm the bomb.com. I have a lot to share. I have a lot to say. What I have is important. What I have is godly. What I'm doing out there is going to help so many people. Whether you're sharing an opportunity or you're sharing a product or you're sharing a program, and all you have to do is just show up every day, even if it's once a day, right? That's going to get you further ahead, right? So today we're going to be talking about the validation trap. We're going to be talking about the validation trap, and we're going to go into number one here. I'm going to take my time with this today. I know Meiyoko won't mind. I want to take my time with this today because everyone, whether you want to admit it or not, thank you, Annette. Everyone, whether you want to admit it or not, is trying to seek approval. Hey, Nene, how are you? If you're an approval seeker, right? If you're an approval seeker, give me a 2 in the chat. This is a safe space, y'all. Okay? Because I was the 2, and I still sometimes in certain areas in my life is the 2. Whereas that approval seeking, and approval seeking creates inconsistent messaging. If you made a post this morning and you keep going back to that post to see who liked it, to see who commented, to see who accepted it, what have you, that's seeking approval. You are approval seeking. And just to go a little bit more in depth with that, when you're focused on being liked, you adjust your content, voice, and offerings to make what you think people want, rather than standing firm in what you're truly called to deliver. What you're truly called to deliver. Right? It's like childbirth. No matter what we go through during the labor pains, during the 9 months and all the things, once that baby come out, we forget about all that. The goal is to get to that destination. The goal is to deliver whatever is in you, whatever you're talking about, whatever you're promoting, whatever you're trying to convey. Leadership is that, right? Because this leads to, when you're always trying to be a approval seeker, you're going to end up watering down your message, and you're not going to have that lack of clarity, confidence, right? And conviction in what you do. Those things are important. I want you to type in this in the chat: clarity, confidence, and conviction. Right? Clarity, confidence, and conviction. Go ahead, conviction. Go ahead and type it in the chat, because you can't build a bold brand while tiptoeing around people's opinion. You can't build it because you're always looking back to see who's going. Hey, I didn't even see you come in. You're always looking back to seeing who's saying what. Right? Is that Denise in the chat? Hey, Denise, thank you for hopping
on.
Hey,
Denise. Hey, Charlene.
Yes. We got, okay. Let me tell you who's here. We got Nene, we got Annette, we got Charlene, we got Denise. Thank you guys for joining. Thank you. Yes. So
some new names.
New names. Yeah. See, consistency. See some new names. So we was just going over the first point about approval seeking. And I was sharing how that was definitely me, in the past, and there's still some areas in my life that I'm working on, because we're transparent on here. I'm not going to sit up here and act like I'm perfect, I'm this, I'm that, and everything's awesome. I think you really connect with people when they see you, the fact that you are just going along the process and you're bringing them along with you, because whatever I conquer, I can help others as well. Same thing with you, Meiyoko. So what do you feel about this? Approval seeking
creates inconsistent messaging.
Yes.
Well, I mean, your message is going to be inconsistent, because if you're trying to please everybody else, you're looking at what everybody else is saying. So each day your message is different, right? It's not even the message that you want to convey, but each message is based on what you saw somebody else do, how somebody else thinks, how somebody else feels. And it's not really focused on a problem that you solve, a mission that you're called to do. So you're all over the place. So inconsistent messaging is just going to breed inconsistency in every aspect of your business, whether it's inconsistent sales, inconsistent leads, and nobody's going to understand exactly where you're coming from. It's confusing. I know me personally, when I'm looking at somebody's brand or I'm looking at a post in the feed, and it may be somebody that I'm following, the moment they don't make sense, I really stop following them because I'm confused. I want to understand. I want to be able to know who you are, What is it? What it is that you can do? How do you help me in whatever type of way? What am I getting out of being in your environment, being in your experience? And when you're focused on what everybody else thinks, you have inconsistent messaging. Now, notice it's what everybody else thinks, not your ideal audience. I want to make that comparison because when you're in tune with what your ideal audience thinks, that's a good thing. And the message is not going to be inconsistent, it's going to be consistent. You may talk about different things, different pain points, different results they want, but there's a consistency in the midst of it all. So I want to make sure you get that comparison. Focusing on what everybody else thinks means everybody outside of your audience, not your exact audience. Okay. So that's my take on it.
Yeah, because it's like a GPS. You're going to get off your path if you're
Right.
always
Right.
thinking, always focus on what everybody else outside. Be clear on what he said, everyone outside of your audience.
Right.
Okay. If you're listening to people who are outside of your, what they used to call it avatar, those terms, lingo and stuff, and
Coachy
you're just
word.
focusing on those opinions versus the people who really have the problem that you have the solution for, they're going to get confused. They're going to venture away because it's like you're now not becoming an expert to them. And it's nothing like people hear the word expert, they're like, I don't want to be called an expert. No, but to the minds of your consumers, they deem us as that.
Correct.
Like
Right.
people will come on the show and they say, hey, Meyoko's, he's the expert in personal brand. Leticia is the queen of email. I always hear the queen of email marketing, right? But again, if it's that consistency that we both convey. And yes, we do other things. We're thought leadership, transformational coaches, all the things, but those still align with what our personal brand is. That's what we're saying. So, and it still helps our audience. We're not going outside of our demographic to hear or input of them. We're really focusing on you guys and what it is you need. This is why we're tailoring even our tour around those of you who come on, to each city, around what is your actual need is. What is your actual problem that you need a solution for? Those are the things that needs to be seeked. So sometimes asking those questions to your audience, your target audience, is key because they're going to lead you in the right direction, which brings us to our second point, which is playing nice undermines your pricing and your positioning. Okay. We're all guilty of pricing wrong. I always say pricing is the mindset that you want to, or I feel like it's bigger than audience. It's more like the mindset that you want to attract with how you charge and how you position your offers, right? And low ticket is not wrong. Me and Meiyoko are not saying that, hey, if you have a $27 product or an $8 product, it's wrong. Really, but if you're getting too much access on the lower end, right, you're going to be drained and overwhelmed that the people that you want to serve on the signature pricing, you won't have time for it because you're really diving into the low end side, but because you're undermining, you're playing it extremely small. What do you think about that, Meiyoko?
Right. So my question for you is just to kind of clarify that for the audience.
Right.
What is playing nice? What does that mean?
Mm.
What does it mean by playing nice?
Think of it as no boundaries. What do y'all think in the audience? What do you feel like
Yeah,
playing
what do you
nice?
feel like playing nice is?
Yes, let us know.
And I'll give you my feedback on what playing nice is, but I want to hear from you. What do you
Right.
think playing nice is?
Mm-hmm. Let us know, guys. What you
And I'm going to
thinking
give
of?
you an example. I'm going to give you an example of playing nice, by the way. Maybe a couple. Maybe a couple.
Yes. Let's hear
All
what y'all have to
all
say.
right. So while we wait on them, I'm going to give you an example.
Right.
Somebody reaches out to me because they're interested in my program.
Right.
Right. Now, let's say hypothetically, this is not my pricing. My program is $9.97, right? This is
Mm-hmm.
for my coaching program. And I reach out to them and they say, this sounds great. This sounds awesome. It sounds amazing. But I don't think I can afford it. It's
Right.
out of my price range. Okay. All right.
Mm-hmm.
This is what playing nice is. Ah, man, well, you know what? I really need this sale, or I would like to get this revenue in. So I am going to lower my price
Mm-hmm.
to gain this particular client.
Right.
So I say, you know what? What I'm going to do for you instead of $9.97, I'm going to. How about will do it for half of that.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, half of that? You've
Mm-hmm.
already now you've already discredited the value of what you're doing, first and foremost.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now you get in for a half off, you get this client,
Mm-hmm.
and they are they are a coach's or a service provider's nightmare. They're never satisfied. They're always
Yep.
trying to get you to adjust something because what you did is you devalued the value of what you provide. That's an example of playing nice. Now, how do you solve that? Oh, I can't afford it. $9.97 is too much. Okay, that's fine. Well, maybe you're just not at the you're not at that part of your journey yet. Okay, here's what I can do. I have a free mini course. I'm not a free. I have a mini course, or I have this particular thing that's going to help you solve one of your specific problems, and I have it for $197. How's that? Oh, that's a lot better. Okay, cool. All right, enroll them into that until they can get to that higher, that higher investment, right? You see, I didn't devalue anything. What I did is I took a piece of the whole pie. So now I'm solving a piece of the whole pie for them. And now they're able to invest in that. So please, please, whatever product or service you have, please do not adjust the price real time because it's you need money or you need a sale. Don't do that. Don't do that. You devalue what you're doing and you will create a huge problem for yourself because I can guarantee you, I've done it many times in the past. That person will require your blood type, your social security number. They will try to readjust everything in your practice, and you'll be squirming around like a
Yep.
chicken with your head cut off. So
Yep.
now they're ruling you, they're controlling you the whole entire process. Do not do that. If it's too expensive for them, have an alternative where they can actually get a quick win, but make them put some skin in the game. I hope everyone really understands. This is so important what I just told you. I hope everyone understands this.
Mm-hmm. 100%. 100%. It's also good to have that like you said, it's like you having that versatility. You know what I mean? It's even when you go into a retail store, it's the same thing. If you see a $80 shirt, they're not going to lower the price because it's
No,
$80, but there's a clearance section in the back. So you go
great
all the way to the
example.
back to the
Great
clearance
example.
section,
Great example.
and there you go. Get have your heart's desires. But at the end of the day, your value is your value. So I
Right.
see Charlene. Trees, you could bring up her comment because I see her comment here, and I really like this. So Charlene said, giving in or downplaying to obtain a client, lowering your original standards to make that sale.
Never do it.
Ooh,
Never do it.
ooh,
Never
ooh,
do it.
ooh, ooh,
Never
ooh.
do it. And then
That's a
the
good
next
one.
thing they do is they tie their emotional value or their self-worth to a product. So
Right,
now you're starting to devalue your product. You
right.
attach it to yourself. Now you don't feel good at all.
Mm-hmm,
It's like a vicious cycle.
mm-hmm. But
Never
that's also
devalue.
comes. Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead.
That also that I really know for a fact that ties into our personal life, and this is why I said earlier, 80% of what Miyoko and I do is self-development. So it is a lot of things that ties into our personal life by not establishing boundaries and giving in and not deciding, and I was talking about this morning, not making that choice to just cut it before it got things get crazy. And then that also trickles into our businesses as well.
Right.
So both of those things align. It does. And sometimes we
Absolutely.
have a heart for people. We got to understand that we really help people, just like what Charlene just said and what Miyoko said, by setting that your original standard. What was your original standard? Hello,
You don't
reminding
even know
of
what that
that.
is.
Right. And this is why
They forgot it.
Right. And this is why for some businesses, and I start to see why they do this. They have other people who are also involved in their business, like having a business partner or having somebody. I'm not talking about a coach, like somebody that is alongside you that you can have those conversations with as well. Even within our tour is a great place to do as well, where you're like, hey, listen, remember our standard, remember our goal. If you do this, it's going to set us back, for the year, you know because
Right.
it's the same amount of effort. You're lowering the price, but you're not changing the amount of effort or the work and the energy and the effort
No,
that
you're
you're
gonna do
putting in.
more. You're gonna do more.
Yeah,
You're
yeah,
gonna end up doing more.
yeah. I love that comment. Thank you so much, Charlene, for that comment. But definitely share, you guys. Keep sharing. Just keep sharing. So let's talk about the last point, because leaders do lead, right?
Mhm.
They do lead. They lead from the front, right? They lead from the front. They
From the
don't
back,
wait to be chosen.
they, they lead from the front, the back, the
Yeah,
middle,
the middle, everywhere. Yeah,
everywhere.
it's the
Um,
lead. Yeah, yeah.
I
Go
want to
ahead.
make I want to make a point about leadership.
Yeah.
Man, I'm just so many thoughts are coming. So, because
Go
I'm
ahead.
working on a program behind the
Yes,
scenes on
one
leadership.
hundred
So,
percent. A really good one too.
leadership is not about winning all the time. This is what surface level leadership looks like. Real leadership is ugly, it's challenging, then you have some wins. It's the process of life. So, when we're saying leaders lead, they lead in every way. Not just the wins. They take accountability for mistakes, they can take accountability for challenges in their life, and they figure it out. They get the help that they need, they work through it, they figure it out, and then they win. Then they become recognized for this process because everybody else is like, wow, they overcame this or they overcame that. They developed this or they developed that. You don't have to be you don't have to be chosen for that. You're going to be recognized once those particular periods come. And I think as leaders, we wait, and it goes into that whole validation thing. We seek validation as leaders from other people. We don't have to do that. All you got to do is walk in your purpose. Take one day at a time. Focus on whatever growth in your personal or professional stage of life you're in. Focus on that. And I'm telling you, eventually you're going to be recognized anyway. I don't have to call myself a thought leader. I don't have to call myself any type of great coach or anything like that. Because of the work that I've done, people recognize me for those things. Focus on the work. Lead by example. And that's not just the positive things. The things that have happened are like me and Leticia talk about this all the time. You don't have to just, divulge your personal business. You don't. But sharing your journey, sharing those ups, sharing those downs, sharing how you were feeling, sharing on what you were going through from an emotional perspective, from a
Mm-hmm.
mental perspective, from
Mm-hmm.
a challenging, you are leading. So
Mm-hmm.
leading doesn't always feel great.
Right. Right.
Leading doesn't always feel sexy. Leading doesn't always
Mm-hmm.
feel glamorous.
Mm-hmm.
That's not true leadership.
Mm-hmm.
Now I have to go a little deep here, and then I'll go back to the professional.
Right.
The greatest leader was Jesus Christ.
Amen.
No greater leader.
Mm-hmm.
Now, he leads from giving
Mm-hmm.
himself as a sacrifice.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a perception of leadership. Our perception of leadership is incredibly backwards.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just the wins,
Oof.
heroes. It's not just the wins.
Mm-hmm.
What did you go through to get there?
Yeah. Mm.
That's how you lead.
Mm.
I've never explained it this way in my life, ever.
Mm-hmm.
I've ever
Mm-hmm.
explained it this way. I don't know why I just explained it that way.
Mm-hmm.
I do know why.
Yeah.
I've never explained it this way before. So
Wow.
those of us that are believers, some of you may not be, that's fine.
Mm-hmm.
The same rule applies. You lead based on the process of life that you go through.
Mm-hmm.
That way, you don't have to be chosen.
Mm-hmm.
People will recognize you for the journey.
Right.
That's how true leaders lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're not always in a great place or great space in your life all the time.
Right.
That is not the way life is designed, but
Mm-hmm.
you're still leading. Even
Mm-hmm.
from the plate, even, I cannot stress this to you enough, ladies and gentlemen.
Mm-hmm.
Even from a place of adversity, you are still leading.
Still leading.
You
Mm.
don't feel like it, but you're
Mm-hmm.
still leading.
Wow. Wow. That's
Don't
deep.
allow adversity to ever think. Don't allow adversity to ever let you think that you're not leading.
Mm. Mm.
Because you know what? You can still lead from the bottom.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Leadership is definitely empowerment.
Absolutely.
Is what separates the bosses from the leaders. You know, you could think you're a leader, but you really just have that boss mentality of telling people what to do and telling people what they shouldn't do and all these things. But that's not leadership. That's just you playing a position of, you know, imaginary
Right.
authority. But leadership is definitely empowerment, because like what you said before, you could lead from the bottom but still
Ah,
empower people.
this is a whole nother topic.
That's a whole, this is a whole, I don't think they're ready for this, Meiyoko,
Oh my
because
goodness.
I personally know how that feels, of saying, listen, I'm upset right now, I feel defeated right now, all the things, but I'm still
Oh,
going
that's
to
just
be
me. That's a note.
empowered.
That's just me. That's a
That's a
note.
no. Okay, okay. So this is magnificent. I hope y'all getting this. Those of y'all who are on here right now, I hope y'all really getting what we're saying.
We have
You
been
know.
taught. We have been
Mhm.
taught leadership wrong.
Yeah. Yeah.
I want everybody to understand this.
Yes. Amen.
We have been taught leadership wrong.
Yeah.
All of us be in church,
Yeah. Yeah.
listening to these things,
Uh-huh.
and we have been taught leadership wrong.
Right. And I know God is telling, even I feel like somebody needs to hear this, is telling you where you are right now, to go and just empower and just share and just show up.
Leadership is
Yeah.
service.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's service.
Hmm.
It's pursuing passions and gifts and values and principles,
Right.
even in the midst of suffering, even in the
Yeah.
midst of going through particular things.
Right.
You are still leading. I feel like I need to hear that. Somebody needs to hear
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Don't think that you stop leading because you're going through your trial
As
or you're in a
absolutely.
period of adversity. Because I'm
Hmm.
gonna tell you that is what is going to connect people to you.
Amen.
We are more connected to how did you get out of this
Hmm.
versus, oh, you're out. Great.
Yeah. Yeah.
That ain't me. I'm not out of it.
Yeah.
So, all right.
Uh-huh.
Talk about the journey. That's
Right.
how leaders lead.
Hmm. Hmm.
This is a completely different
It's
topic.
going to change, especially for those of you who are coaches. I find that, and this is just something I've experienced in the past working with other coaches, where they make you feel like, oh, this is what you should have known, or this is what you should have already supposed to do. And when you ask them a question, it's an issue. That's a red flag too. Like, when you are in leadership and you're empowering people, they can ask you whatever you want, and you may not know all the answers, right? But at least you are there to at least listen and try to guide them in the right direction. Because again, um, this is something that you don't have to, like we said in here in the point, is like, you don't have to be chosen to it. You can still lead as a leader, you can still show up as a leader, you can still have the leadership mindset and operate in as your best self, in your best excellence. And I think that's very important, because as you keep moving forward, you're giving confidence. We wait all the time for
Hashtag
permission.
hang on. I like that.
We wait all the time for permission, all the time. And that permission delays our purpose. It keeps us stuck all the time, because we're just waiting for that permission, or waiting for that acceptance. And a lot of people who are listening to us and following us, a lot of them are watching us in silent. They're not, like we said yesterday, Yoko made a point yesterday, is that they may not be ready to be out there in the open, but we'll reach out to you in a DM, or we'll reach back out to you with an email.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Well, this is so deep, man. It
Right.
really is. Because you said waiting for permission. And sometimes we think that permission is, oh, we're out of it now. Oh, we've
Yeah.
won.
Yeah.
Oh, the smoke's cleared. Okay,
Yeah.
now I can talk about it. Now I can lead again.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to wait until that.
Nope.
I've done it. I was guilty of it. In fact, I tell this story a lot. Like, somebody very close to me at the time, I was going through something personal in my life, and
Mm-hmm.
they literally went to a post and they said, since you're this big old life coach and you're helping all
Mm-hmm.
these people, or you're this coach, why can't you help yourself out of your own situation?
Exactly. Leaders
And
are judged all the time.
all the time.
All the
And
time.
and what that did is it made me question it.
Mm-hmm.
And then some beliefs started to slip in.
Yep.
And then you know what I did, ladies and gentlemen? I stopped posting for almost a year.
Almost a year.
Almost a year.
Mm-hmm.
Do you hear how damaging that could be?
That's
Almost a
right.
year. Until I kind of like prayed about it and I got myself together, and it's just like, huh?
Yep.
This is
Yep.
why you should be leading.
Yeah. This is
Life
why.
happens. People need to know how to navigate out of these things.
Right.
You're learning. So as you learn, you help someone else.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that to say that, yes, leaders are judged. I was waiting for I felt like I no longer had permission based on
Yeah.
what somebody else said or
Exactly.
based on a situation. So trying situations are not permission based. Okay. Like we're going to have those particular things in life.
Mm-hmm.
You still can lead. You
Mm-hmm.
still can educate. You still can empower. In
Mm-hmm.
fact, as you're empowering others, you're encouraging yourself at the same time.
At the same time, that's also can, I mean, for me personally, when I go back to a thought provoking post, like even the one I did this morning, and I'm rereading it myself, you know, that feeds my spirit, even though it's helping my audience and people are liking and commenting and things like that. That's leadership, y'all. When you are sitting down and you're pouring out, you know, what you who you are, not really what you're going through, but all these, evolutionary moments, because as we get over into our 40s, really start paying attention, being more self-aware of where we're at in life and how we can change it. We can't really focus on the past. We can only focus on moving forward, really leading our lives to where we need to go and need to be. But we got to expose ourselves to that process of
Right.
leadership, you
Right.
know, and share it, because when we go back and look at it and we see how far we come and we see where we're going, it
Mhm.
helps validate ourselves.
Ourselves.
We validate
Ourselves.
ourselves,
Ourselves.
internally. And that's a beautiful thing once we tap into that. Like I was talking to Miyoko earlier, and I was like, I want to get back to a space, even in my business, where I could sit in a space where I can really have conversations with people that is just elevating and next level, because that's how we tap into who we are. When we're around people all the time that really don't motivate us or take us to, not really take us to where we need to be, but be around other thought leaders, right? If
Mhm.
we're not doing it on a day-to-day basis, we get more empty inside, not inside, but having those conversations are important. Hmm.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Leadership is something, and I think most women are on here, fellas. If you get on here, that's awesome too. But
Hmm.
most people on here have children,
Yep.
right? The moment you're already leaders, but the moment you have a child, you're in leadership.
Yeah, you're already 100%. 100%.
So whether you want to admit it or not,
Yeah.
you are leading every day, every
Hmm.
single day,
From the time you wake up to the time you go
every
to
single
bed.
day,
Hmm.
every single day. So don't allow, in closing, don't allow circumstances to make you feel like you can't lead within those circumstances,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
And don't feel like you have to be chosen to be a leader. You already are.
That's right.
You
That's right.
already are. Now you need to choose
Hmm.
how you lead.
Hmm. Hmm.
That's what you need to choose.
Hmm.
How
Hmm.
are you going to lead?
It's a choice.
Are you going to lead from a surface area, all motivational, very incomplete leadership, or are you
Hmm.
going to be in your wholeness with it?
Hmm. Hmm.
Are you going to share the entire process, the
Hmm.
entire journey?
Hmm.
Because
Yeah.
that, in my opinion, I rather lead
Yeah.
from that
That's
place of
important.
authenticity, than to lead in a way that people cannot relate to or not connect to.
Exactly.
And
They
it's
can't
not me
attach
anyway.
themselves to it.
And it's
Yeah.
not me anyway.
And you want people to attach. You know, our tour is part of that as well. It's those of you who either want to be more of a thought leader, because we're all thought leaders. Let's just say that some of us have not tapped into it, and some of us have, and some of us are just evolving into it, right? And just consider it as just sharing your story. But no, you're taking the lead in becoming a thought leader. Type in the chat, ladies, I am a thought leader, because all of you under the sound of my voice are. But if you to learn more about how to tap into that, you're definitely going to do that at our tour, because again,
Oh yeah, you
Yoko,
gotta come. You have to be there.
yes,
I'm telling you, you have to be
yes,
there. You have.
yes.
I know it says you're a brand, but do not forget about your breakthrough. Don't forget
Mm-hmm.
about the breakthrough part.
Yeah, yeah. And your journey is important to be told. Your process, all the things you have to share is important. Your mindset or your thoughts, or anything that you want to talk about and share. Learning how to do it in such a way that positions you as the authority in your industry is important,
Right.
because I know for a fact when you are being asked to be speaking on stages or podcasts or radio stations or publications, having that sense of confidence and being that thought leader to where you can contribute to a topic or discussion, no matter how hard or broad it is, right? And learning how to deal with the negativity that comes to you with that, because there is negativity that will come to you when you play that leadership role, because somebody's always going to question it, somebody's always going to challenge it, especially if they're coming from a space of guilt. but you got to keep moving forward. And our tour is going to definitely help you with that. Become that effective thought leader and keep pushing and keep going. Like Yoko said earlier, he's like, I'm just gonna have to come to terms that people ain't gonna like me. And it is what it is. You can't do nothing about that. What you can do something about is showing up as your best self with your thoughts, your leadership, all the things. And those who are like watching you and they're like, wow, you helped me. If it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even thought of talking about this. There's so much that we have to talk about, but we share those stories over the phone with our famous friends. No, the world needs to hear that as well. Because that's part of you. Like Meiyoko told me before, he's like, you're more than email marketing. And just getting into that, like, yeah, there's so many
much
layers.
more. So much more.
Yes.
So much more.
Absolutely.
Don't you all want to see more from Leticia other than email marketing?
You're a mess.
Tell her to step into what she needs to really do.
Right. I know they do. And this is why it's so important for y'all to join us, because I like to bring people along the process. My audience know I keep nothing to myself when it comes to success and domination. Y'all know that's my favorite word. And this is the next phase of my personal brand, which is thought leadership. And I thank you, Meiyoko, for helping me with that process. But again, let's bring on more women and men with us, because we ain't going to forget about the men. Because
see, Charlene says so much more.
So much.
See how I put her out there, Charlene.
Thank you. I appreciate that. But yeah, I hope to see you at the tour too, Charlene. I really hope to see you there, love. Would love to see you there. But again, thank you guys so much for joining us today. This has been a great, great show. We want to highlight this. There will be a cutoff for registration.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
We really, truly, honestly mean it. We don't know what the date of the cutoff be. We have to sit down and look at the numbers to see who already signed up and see how it is, because we want to keep this small and intimate. Even for the online viewership, we want to also keep that small and intimate, right? We don't, hundreds of thousands of people on there.
Yeah, we don't want 300 people.
Yes. So again, if you haven't gotten your ticket yet, go to the link and get your ticket right away. Okay? Because, it's coming up very soon, okay? And we want to make sure when y'all show up, y'all just like in awe, and you're ready to do the work, and you're ready to have a great, 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 great time. And then the aftermath of that is going to be even more beautiful. So if y'all love us coming on and do these shows twice a week and all that, you're going to get even more of that during our tour. So again, we're going to be in New York, Maryland, Georgia, and Texas. So definitely join us in either one of those locations, or all of those cities, okay? Because each city is going to be a little bit different. But please keep in mind, there will be a cutoff. So definitely go to bit.ly/YBYB tour and grab your ticket today. All right? Meiyoko and I would love to see and connect with you guys, because like I said yesterday, we love connecting. We love to connect with y'all. That's one of our heartfelt things to do. All right, guys. So without further ado, we appreciate you guys so much for joining us once again. We'll see y'all next week for another amazing conversation. Share this out. Invite people on here. Tag.
Share it. Be there. I'm telling you, it's transformational.
Absolutely.
And like she said, it's an intimate setting, so it's not going to be like anything else you've ever attended.
100%. 100%.
Definitely want to see you all there.
All right, guys. Y'all have a good weekend. Enjoy. Stay safe, and we'll see y'all soon. Bye, guys.
See you later.